When I lost my job, everything in my life started to fall apart. I had been working at the same company for 8 years, pouring my heart into it, giving it late nights and weekends. But when the company downsized, I was one of the first to go. I came home that day, broken and tired, hoping for comfort. Instead, I walked into a cold silence. My wife, Alina, barely looked up from her phone when I told her the news. Over the next few weeks, I tried to find work. I applied everywhere, but the market was tough, and rejection after rejection wore me down. Alina grew more distant. She stopped asking how the job search was going and spent more time out with friends. I didn't think much of it at first. I was too distracted trying to rebuild what I'd lost. Then came the worst night of my life. I was at home, scrolling through social media when I saw a picture that made my heart stop. Alina, laughing, sitting across a dinner table from my best friend, Samir. His hand was resting on hers. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I tried to convince myself maybe it was innocent, maybe I was overreacting. But deep down I knew. I confronted her the next morning. She didn't deny it. In fact, she looked relieved that I'd finally figured it out. "You're not the man I married," she said coldly. "Samir actually has ambition." She walked out that afternoon, suitcase in hand, leaving me in a house that now felt like a grave. I spent days alone in silence. Everything felt meaningless. My best friend had betrayed me, and the woman I loved had shattered what was left of my dignity. But something inside me refused to let this be my ending. I decided I wouldn't let their betrayal define me. I sold the house, used the money to move to another city, and threw myself into learning something I'd always been curious about: app development. I watched tutorials day and night, worked freelance jobs to survive, and slowly started building something of my own. It wasn't easy. There were nights I cried, doubting every choice I made. But I didn't stop. After almost 10 months, I launched my app, a productivity tool for small businesses. To my surprise, it took off quickly. Within weeks, I had investors reaching out. Within 6 months, my company was profitable. A year later, I was earning more money than I ever had in my life. I had become a millionaire. One afternoon, while checking emails, I saw a name I hadn't seen in a while. Samir. He was applying for a job at my company. My heart raced as I read his resume. It was a strange feeling: anger, satisfaction, and amusement all at once. I scheduled an interview. He walked into the office looking worn and desperate. The confident smile he once had was gone. The moment he saw me sitting at the head of the table, his face turned pale. "Ayan," he whispered. I just smiled and said, "Welcome to my company." I didn't hire him. I didn't need to. Just watching him walk out of that building, knowing he'd have to carry the weight of what he lost, was enough. Alina messaged me weeks later, saying she'd made a mistake. I never replied. I had moved on, richer, stronger, and no longer the broken man they left behind. Revenge wasn't about hurting them. It was about rebuilding myself. And I did. From the ashes they left me in, I rose.